Alright, yo, what's going on? We're back. It's been a while. A lot going on. We're going to jump into Mayhem League here. In the background here, I just have a little Absolution from Standard going on. Kind of the same build idea we're going for in Mayhem Hardcore Solo Self-Found. We're going to be doing a little bit different than this. We're going to go for a Gigatank build, Absolution Guardian instead of Necromancer. Talk about why in this video, why I think that's better, or at least somewhat more interesting. And yeah, remember to click like, comment, subscribe. Let's jump into it. So, why Hardcore Solo Self-Found, first of all? Not something I usually play. We're going to be going into HCSSF. Just basically, it's a little easier to climb the ladder. It's a short league, so if you like rip a character, you're not like super upset. At least I'm not. Short league, so I don't feel like I need to invest super too much. You just never get there. And easier to climb ladder, so that's why that. And then over on the right here, I have what Mayhem League is. It starts on November 4th. It's a 10-day event. Basically, there's going to be one of a few different league mechanics on every area. So, Anarchy, Invasion, Breach, Ambush, Torment, Harbinger, Delirium, and Scourge. So, I think it's an interesting collection because this is not just... It's a mix of single target and big groups. So, character needs to be good at doing both, which means it just needs to be good all around. I think more importantly, it needs to be super good at defenses. A lot of stuff in every area, starting level 1. So whatever's on the beach for everybody could be a little difficult on level 1, honestly. So the other thing for Mayhem, which I think is maybe more important and a little overlooked, is this mod pool down here. There'll be 2 of these in every area, and these change every hour. So if an area is like too difficult for someone to tackle right away, they'll wait an hour. Or just try to run past everything. Some of these are going to be pretty difficult to combine together, I think. It's like, the crit plus 2 additional projectiles could be like insane. You just can get like 1 hit from off the screen. That's the one that's jumping out to me. I mean, all this stuff here combines just to make the game more difficult. So, this league kicks off November 1st, November 4th at 1 p.m. Pacific. It's 3 p.m. Central, which is my time. So, yeah, let's jump into that. So why Absolution? Just a build I'm super comfortable with. I think it's probably the best minion build at the moment, especially good for going super tanky. You don't need it; doesn't rely on any uniques. You can build very tanky. Pretty much all your damage is coming from skills, abilities. Gear is not super important. Can be focused on defenses, so that's what we're going for. I'm gonna pause this. We're gonna jump into my POV. So this is an interesting POV. Interesting tree. We'll talk about this in a second. But first I want to talk about why Guardian and not Necromancer. So probably less people playing Guardian was like one of the main decision points for me. If I want to be on the ladder somewhere, I think Guardian would be a little bit easier. In the past, Necromancer's always been bad because people playing Detonate Dead in these types of leagues. I don't think it's going to be super popular this time around, but I still think Necromancer will be more popular than Guardian, so we're going to go Guardian. The other reason is the personal defenses are higher for Guardian. You get some cool abilities like 80% reduced effect curses, more regen. Block we'll talk about, like this node is nice. You need it on Guardian. Necromancer wouldn't need this. We'll talk about that. And I think the big thing is like these first 2 ascendancy points are have a bigger power spike than the first 2 ascendancy points for Necromancer. Necromancer, all 4 are probably just a little like a smidge better. But the first 2 here are better than the first 2 for Necromancer, IMO. So the downsides, we'll look over the Necromancer one of what you're not getting. The biggest one you're not getting here is going to be, you're not getting Mr. Sacrifice. This is a huge defensive because you're allowed to put offerings on yourself at 50% reduced effect. This is basically how every Necromancer gets block capped. You do Bone Offering. You do the Mastery for minion defenses to get 20% increased effect offerings. Bada bing, bada boom. You got your max block. The Guardian can't do that. We'll talk about how we're gonna fix that. You get maybe a little bit less damage. I don't know. You may get more. You lose these like minion life damage nodes, but you're fine. You lose a little bit of resistance here. You kind of get it back though on the other one, so it really does balance out the rest of the ways. Yeah. All right. So let's start with the tree. This tree is probably like I sat and stared at this tree for a long time to figure out how to get everything I wanted. Realized I couldn't get everything I wanted, and I had to pick and choose. So we'll talk about that. First of all, this is going to be an armor, evasion, block base with a little bit of energy shield and hopefully like end game, super end, if we get there, spell suppression. The big thing to point out here is most people who run Necromancer's version of this, and a lot of people who even run Guardian version of this, use Eldritch Battery. We are not doing that. It's pretty far out of the way for me. Well, 3 nodes. But I also wanted to use the energy shield as one of my defenses instead of as protecting my mana. But what do we have to do to do that, right? We have to invest into mana regen. So there's 2 ways I'm fixing this problem. One, we're investing in mana regen. We have quick recovery. We have our Mystic Bulwark. This is huge. We're going to be spell block capped. So it's basically 75% increased mana regen. And for my testing, if we leave enough mana on the table, this is basically enough. Like basically enough to feel pretty comfy with mana. So if we get a little mana regen on our items, we're good to go. Not necessary though. Test everything. The reason we can do this is the plan is to put life tap and all the accessory skills, as I call them. So we're gonna life tap Flame Dash, Convocation, Offering, Desecrate, Molten Shell. Basically this costs 2 sockets. Tested this, felt fine, comfortable doing that, so good to go. Everything difference between this build and a standard like Necromancer Absolution build is we are investing into basically all of the block nodes. So up here you'll see we get spell block, Mystic Bulwark, spell block, this block node, and this block node. This gets us to about 65% spell block chance, and that is big. You only get 65 because you see here if you cast the spell recently, you need browse have plus 10% chance to block spell damage. Our main ability is a spell. We have Molten Shell and left click. We're always gonna have a spell cast recently, so we'll be spell block capped like that. Pretty nice. We need all these nodes since we're not doing bone offering on ourselves. Okay. Let's talk about the weird part of this build. Is the spell suppression at the end. This is the last thing we're gonna be adding. It's the stuff that's way far out of the way from the rest of the thing. And basically, it comes down to a choice of how you want to get tankier. You can get tankier by going to this area for +2 all max res, +1 to get like +3 max res, or you can try to get spell suppression. So to get spell suppression, you 100% need this node plus the mastery. Then you need to have evasion on your boots, helmets, and gloves. This gets you about 5, 10, 22, 34%. And then you come through here to get these 3 are spell suppression nodes for about 18%. And then Mage Bane gets you another about 10% with 150 dex. This gets you to about 60-65% spell suppression, and then you can hopefully get the rest of your spell suppression from boots, helmets, gloves. Like to avoid it on the chest and shield if possible. Because the chest, you want a big energy shield roll, and same with your shield. You want to do a fossil. You want to use the Bone Spirit shield for minions, and that is just straight up ES. You won't be able to get spell suppression. If I need more spell suppression somewhere, I'm not able to get capped. It would be coming from the shield. We do like an evasion ES shield. That'd be fine. Okay. Last thing about the tree. See, I have no clusters. This is hardcore solo self-found. The odds of getting a usable cluster are super low, especially in a 10-day league. It's not something you're going to be going out of the way for, so I felt like I didn't need to. And the other thing on here is notice this is level 99. Odds of this getting level 99 are like 0%, but the easier things to do are take away all the 2 link dual sockets, and you're down to like level 90. What's this, 93? So you get rid of those. It's unlikely we get a lot of really good jewels. We'll probably get one or 2. Should have a belt that's going to hold at least one of those. Maybe a Darkness Enthroned. Stygian for sure. Maybe a Darkness Enthroned. So don't know if we'll need all the jewel sockets. I think this can be a little bit. I don't know if this tree can get much more optimized, but maybe a little bit. It's kind of where I ended up on. This stuff over here. If we end up saying we don't need Divine Shield, I wouldn't take this node either. We probably just save a bunch of points. So it'll be a little bit of playing around. We'll see if we need Divine Shield. It seems pretty nice. We'll see how much ES we have. That's kind of where we're at on that. Last thing I want to talk about before we jump out of this is we're going to talk about our mapping start. So I got to maps on my practice build of this. We I think the most important things are going to be 1 essence. We need to craft all our gear, so we're going to get like the first little essence wheel that gives you just an essence in every map. Don't want to invest too heavily into it because it gets pretty rippy. Go do that. We need to get abysses on the map for jewels and our Stygian, so that's important. We need to get harvest on the map for Primal Rex Matriarch. It's a huge damage increase. I would like to get 4 specters. Don't know if it's gonna be possible because you need to get like level 25 race specter. Need some pretty good rolls to get to that point, but it would be nice to get Primal Rex Matriarch for sure, and then a Wild Bristle Matron for another defensive layer. And then we need to get harvest. So I said harvest already. We need to get blight for annoyance. We won't be able to trade for annoyance, so we need to anoint something. But I think one of the biggest ways we're going to get spell suppression faster is anoint one of the cheap spell suppression nodes. So that is probably either Quick Step, 10% spell suppression, 6% move speed, or Intuition. Both are pretty nice. I also think that Courage is pretty nice. We're likely going to be hitting enemies pretty often with our spell, so 15% chance of spell suppress there, and increased armor and evasion. So that could work out pretty well. All those are somewhat reasonable, starting just farming blight a little bit, getting some sort of an anoint. My default starter anoint is usually Dreamer. Sepia, Teal, Azure, pretty cheap. So we might do that if we get those right away. So that's what I got for Mayhem League. If you like this video, scroll down below, click like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitch down below. We're going to be live streaming the start of the event, getting this build on the roll, and catch you guys next time.